There we go. Live pictures of the Senate Armed Services Committee hearings on Iraq. This is where Defense Secretary Robert Gates and General Peter Pace, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, are testifying. Earlier, Defense Secretary Gates admitted the stakes are at an all-time high.
Mistakes certainly have been made by the United States in Iraq. But however we got to this moment, the stakes now are incalculable.
For more on the hearings and what is at stake for the president, let's bring in Democratic strategist Morris Reid and MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Morris, today's hearings seem to be a little less contentious so far than they were yesterday, and we certainly saw those hearings make headlines with Republicans and Democrats alike really offering some scathing remarks to Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. That said, how damaging have these hearings been, in your opinion, to the administration?
I think very damaging. You see not only Democrats coming out against this, but Republicans as well. If you sort of look at the environment the president is, it feels like he's going it alone, and that not only is he not listening to the Congress, he's not listening to his own people in his own party. And you can see the frustration on the members of the Senate committees in their actions towards to the Defense Secretary and now to Secretary of State. So there's just a lot of frustration. I feel like the president's not listening.
Pat, who is standing by the president, and what is the impact of that?
Well, there are very few Republicans who are outspokenly standing by the president. Some of them are sort of quietly staying with him. And there's no doubt about it, the president's policy appears to be repudiated by a majority of the country and a clear majority of the Congress. I also think that does send a message to the other side in Iraq that the American nation is divided and on the verge of defeat, as it was in Vietnam. And so I think all around, this is unfortunate. You know, in a sense, Amy, the president did upgrade our forces to a higher level than we're going to go now. They went up to about 160,000 for the election, but there was no great brouhaha, no national speech, and all the rest of it. But I think the speech has clearly backfired. There's no denying that.
Morris, how much of a fight do you expect Democrats to put up in terms of trying to at least do something to derail the funding? If not, what else is up their sleeves? What else can they do to protest the president's plan?
Well, I don't believe that it is a smart move for the Democrats to derail the funding. I think what they're doing is providing oversight and asking hard questions. They don't feel this type of thing was done in the past. But they have to be very careful here because we're talking about American kids and citizens. So we have to give the president what he wants. He's ultimately the commander-in-chief, but they can hold his feet to the fire and hold him accountable, and that's the proper role for the Congress.
Pat, what's at stake here for the president and for America?
Well, I think what's at stake here is the worst strategic disaster in American history when and if we lose this war. There's no question about that. And I think it will be incredible, and it will be the politics of 2008 if that's what's happened. But let me say this about the Democrats. This is an unheroic crowd. Many of them voted to take us into the war. They will not vote against the funding for a simple reason. They don't want accountability for the policy they are recommending. They are
Pat, come on, Pat, that's unfair.
The policy is going to fail.
That's not fair for you to say that.
They are cowardly on this, my friend.
Listen, that's not very American of you to say that these Democrats are not
I'm as American as apple pie, and they don't have the cojones to do what they believe is right, which is to end the war.
Listen, you guys got us into the situation. The Republicans and the Democrats are going to provide the proper oversight because no Republicans wanted to do it in the past. So I just think that you're awfully wrong in saying that they're unpatriotic and don't believe in this.
Let me ask you a question then. How did Hillary, Kerry, Biden, Edwards, Daschle vote when they were asked to give the president a blank check to go to war in October of 2002, and the vote was held to get it out of the way for political reasons? They carry moral responsibility for not doing their job and preventing this war. They're now condemning. They should have been asking the questions then.
If you should get on the phone and ask them. But I got to tell you, every member of Congress that's still with this president on this issue should be held accountable. Not just the people that you're pointing out, but the fact remains that the Democrats are doing the right thing now. They're providing the type of oversight, the tough questions,
what they're
but
doing?
ultimately this is George Bush's war, and he's got to fix
It is
it.
George
All right,
Bush's war.
Morris
And
Reid.
these heroes are going to cast a symbolic vote against
Pat
it.
Buchanan.
That's real heroism.
All right, thank
Pat,
you
I'll be
both.
happy to talk to you about this off camera, but you're absolutely wrong about this one.
I'll see you outside.
Thank you, gentlemen. I hope that was